Hey everybody, thank you so much for checking out this video. It's your girl LB. Welcome to my channel, Watch With Me LB, where I give you fun, fresh, and funny rants, reviews, and recaps on my favorite movies and TV shows. We are here to talk about Reality Check, the documentary that aired on Netflix this week about all the things that went on behind the scenes in the making of America's Next Top Model. Comment down below and let me know if you were obsessed with America's Next Top Model like I was. I used to love America's Next Top Model. I knew this documentary was coming. I had no idea what to expect. What I got, I didn't expect that at all. Not in the slightest, babe. Listen, I'm not sure if Tyra Banks saw this documentary before it aired. I'm not sure how this one got away from her. But babe, it got away from her. This one wasn't a good look for old Ty. I'm not too sure if my girl Jackie from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air would approve of this. Let me just say this. I'm going into this recap fully knowing and understanding that when this show came out, most of us had not developed our prefrontal cortex. That noggin was still soft. We still had a soft spot. So we didn't know no better. Even in that state of having a soft spot and eating baby food as a young youth in America, I still knew that some of the stuff that I was seeing on that America's Next Top Model was crazy. I'm not even about to lie to you, babe. When you live in the real world, things that they did on that show, what are you even talking about? There's no excuse for some of the things that happened. There's no excuse for some of the things that they are trying to sweep under the rug. There's no excuse for passing the buck, babe, because listen, if your name is all over the posters, if you are all over the show, if they say this is your show, if you sit in the middle of the table, if you smize every 5 to 6 business seconds, the buck stops with you. So I really ain't really trying to hear that you wasn't in the editing room, and I don't really want to know that you didn't know that the men was coming over to that house, because I don't know about all that. I don't even care. I do realize that I just spoiled a lot of it for y'all, but I just had to get stuff off my chest because that's just the way I move. Okay, let's get into this recap. Now, you may notice that during this recap, I have one cute fingernail left on my hand. That is because I am recording this the day after Mardi Gras. Okay, I am so glad that I'm in the land of the living. I had a time, okay? This is just evidence of the fact that I had a great time for Mardi Gras. Where the rest of them went. I'm not even about to lie to you and tell you that I haven't been tipsy for a solid month. You're gonna get what you get, and you're not gonna pitch a fit, okay? Of course, we have to start with Tyra Banks because, again, the buck stops with her, so the show got to start with her, okay? So we start to hear a little bit about Tyra Banks' story. Now, Tyra Banks was that girl. She was on Fresh Prince. She was on every Sports Illustrated, Victoria's Secret. You couldn't get away from that lady. I'm not objectifying that lady, no. I have just claimed my membership card to the Melon Felon Brigade of America. Tyra Banks had a fantastic, and still today, has a fantastic set of melons, babe. You can't even take that away from that lady, okay? So I was cool with Tyra. In the 90s, if you were a black girl looking for representation in the supermodel world, you had slim pickings, babe, okay? You had Tyra Banks, you had Naomi Campbell, Veronica Webb, and we had Kimora Lee Simmons. You had Iman, and you had Alec Wet. That's it, okay? That was just all, that was it, okay? Now, Naomi Campbell, for me, she was like otherworldly. It's like you don't even look over there, okay? Because you literally might turn into stone, babe. Don't go over there looking at her. She might slap you across your face, girl. You might just bust one child. You never know what's going to happen with Naomi. She a bad bitch. I don't fool with her, but you can't take that face card away. You can't take that walk away. Now, Tyra Banks, to me, was the more relatable supermodel. I was like, okay, listen, I could see her at the mall one day. Relatable. I ain't never had no problem with Tyra, child. Now, listen, you know, Naomi and Iman and Alec, you ain't never really hear from them. Like, Naomi used to be in the club, you know what I'm saying? Iman would be with her husband, R.I.P. to a real one. Tyra and Kimora, they came up in that reality time. They came up in when you could just like turn on MTV and they'd be on there showing you how poor you were. The documentary starts off that way, talking about her coming up through the modeling world and how she was told no so many times, and how, you know, her lips was too full, her boobs were too big, her forehead was too big, she was too skinny, she was too tall, she was either too much of something or not enough of something. And a lot of times she wasn't getting work because straight up she just was not white. Tyra Banks is present and accounted for in this documentary, babe. She's the first person that we see. She is You know, I knew she was gonna be in here because she was on a poster. I'm just still confused about whether or not she heard what she was saying when she said it. I don't know with y'all. Anyway, she had an idea that she wanted to combine like a making a band type reality show with the real world. Pause. Baby, the real world in the 1900s, like we was on the Oregon Trail, baby, was everything to me. Do you hear me? All I can tell you is that when the real world New Orleans came down here, you may or may not see me in the background of one of them scenes. I can't confirm or deny. I was locked in. So I was very into reality shows at the time. American Idol was out, babe. The Real World was out. It was like really like classic reality show time. So Tyra said, I'm trying to get in there. She said she had lunch one day with her partner, Ken Mock. Now, Ken Mock is the guy who was behind the very first season of Making a Band, which I did not watch. Old Town could be sitting on my lap right now. Wouldn't know a thing. So she hit up Ken and was like, yeah, I want to do this reality show with models or whatever. And then he was like, okay, cool. So what you gonna have them do? You know what I'm saying? Because you can't just have a bunch of pretty bitches in a house. You got to have them do something. One of the first things that we're gonna have these contestants do is learn how to model walk. And who better to teach them how to model walk than the motherfucking Miss J? Love Miss J down boots. Do you hear me? Miss J was so mean, but I also used to love Miss J. Like even still, Miss J used to be like, girl, you look like a chicken with her head cut off. And I used to be like, she do look like a chicken with her head cut off. I can't even lie. I can't even front, okay? Miss J used to be reading them girls down to the ground. Do you hear me? But I still love Miss J. Put a pin in Miss J. We coming back to Miss J. So now if we got Miss J, we got to go pick up Mr. J. Okay, Mr. J was Tyra's makeup artist. And he was tapped to be like the creative director and like the supervisor on set for all of the photo shoots that the girls were gonna have to do. Pause. Mr. J knew he was gay. Knew I never stood a chance. I'm telling you, that boy face card could literally never decline in my life. Listen, please, okay? I used to love him real bad. Them J's was what did it. They were the color. Okay, they were the little lanyard to the show that the show needed. Because no tea, no shade, Tyra couldn't carry it. Listen, I'm not being shady. Please know going into this recap that I am not being shady. I am giving you my true thoughts as somebody that was there, babe. You had to be there. Miss J, Mr. J, mom and dad, they were the color. So they got the team together. Now they got to go pitch it to the networks. The networks was like, girl, please. Don't nobody care. Models are to be seen and not heard, babe. Put this smock on and get on that runway and shut up. One day, somebody over there at UPN said, we'll give you a chance. Pause. UPN was that girl. Do you hear me? I'm talking. Matter of fact, when it was WB, the WB with the double WB, that frog with that top hat, 8 down. UPN was like Urban Programming Network. I don't know what does UPN stand for. Let me see. It actually stands for United Paramount Network. Didn't know that. All the blacks was over there. Girlfriends. You mean Moesha? You mean One-on-One? You mean In the House? You mean the Parkers? You mean Malcolm and Eddie? You mean Half and Half? You mean Between Brothers? I was a lot, baby. Listen, that was premium prime time television in my house. Tyra had said that she wanted this show to be different. She wanted to change the face of the modeling industry. You don't have to be white. You don't have to be skinny. That's what she said. I didn't say that. She said that. So now it's time to go get the girls. So they put out a casting call and all the girlies came out with their gauchos, girl, and they thick belts and they chokers and they crop tops and they low-rise jeans, and they came on out. Do you hear me? So now we start to hear from some of the contestants, the pioneers, the OGs, if you will. So we hear from Shannon and my girl Ebony. Shannon, my girl she said, I love the Lord. You know what I'm saying? I'm a baddie, but I'm a baddie for Jesus. Now my girl Ebony, I remember Ebony specifically because down here in the deep south where I am, or the northernmost part of the Caribbean, if you want to say it that way, we didn't really have a ton of ladies with short hair like that. At that time, you needed bundles. You understand what I'm saying? You needed a sew-in. Ebony had the best shaved head in all of humanity. And then she was from New York. Ebony was a baddie with short hair from Harlem. Shit. The word on the curb say that the models that are in the documentary were not paid for their time and commentary. So I know a lot of the people that was in season 1 was like, please. Okay, I'm not coming over there. All right. But I know the ones that did come, they wanted to say, they had something to say. Okay, we got the cast of girls. We put them in this small ass place. It's like 57 girls in a 2-bedroom place. And they say, baby, we about to make it real for you. Okay, model apartments are a real thing. You're going to sit in this twin bed and shut up about it. I also got to put a quick pause in there. I said, where is Kenya Barris? Kenya Barris' name was on that screen. And I remember thinking that, because when I found out Kenya Barris was a man, I was like, the lady from America's Next Top Model is a man? Because I just assumed that Kenya was a woman. It was like a producer or like an executive producer or something like that. He was behind the scenes. Where Kenya was at? Hello? So these girls in their noggin, that lady said, babe, I'm not going back to be a vet tech. I'm not cleaning up no more sheet vomit. Okay, you do it. I'm going to be a model. Okay, so them girls was really in it to win it. They were really giving it their all. And they talked about the photo shoots and like some of the personalities and some of the things that they had to do. Namely of which, getting that peach wax. Okay, your peach is fuzzy, baby. You can't have no little peach fuzz sticking out the side of that small ass bikini they put you in. It got to be smooth as eggs. I'm not a get wax girly because, you know, it took me a long ass time to be a lady. So I'm a lady. You feel what I'm saying? So it's gonna be cute. It ain't gonna be, you know what I'm saying, Jumanji down there, but I don't need it. They don't need to be smooth as eggs, for me, at least, okay? But they got their situation waxed on TV, child, and I was like, this is cutting edge, babe. This is journalism. It was a soft spot in the middle. I was still wearing baby shoes, child. I was a child. I ain't know no better. Even though, no shade, I love a good old extraction video, okay? I love a good waxing extraction video. Still my jam to this day, okay? And they were pioneers in the rip that pussy hair out genre of TV, okay? Now we are introduced to the color, the life, the love, the heart of the show. And that's the J's, baby. Miss and Mr. Mom and Dad, okay? So we had been seeing Mr. J in there, okay? And we, you know, he's been in there with the girls, but when, you know, it's time for them to walk on the show, of course, we got to bring moms out to teach the girls what to do. We done talked about Mom and Dad, now we got to talk about Beelzebub. And when I say Beelzebub, I mean Janice Dickinson. That I couldn't stand that lady. And also, if you do a neck analysis on Janice, you'll see not a good person. If you look at the necks will let you know, babe. Look at that lady neck and tell me that's somebody who you trust. Something coming out of their mouth. No. She'll be like, you're fat. You're ugly. I don't like your nose. What is her hair doing? Her elbows are the worst. Girl, please, okay? Please, if you get off them slopes, you'll probably see a little something different. Hey, I'm trying to keep it cute, trying to keep it pleasant. I don't want to start sweating. You know, there's alcohol seeping on my pores on this good old Ash Wednesday after Mardi Gras. And with Janice calling everybody fat, now we have to talk about some of the behaviors that were exhibited on this show, namely a focus on folks being really goddamn skinny. Now, if I could just add my own little anecdote, because I'm a Southern lady and that's just what we do. When I was in my early 20s, I was a bad bitch, okay? I'm still a bad bitch to this day, but in your 20s, babe, in your prime, before life has had a chance to beat the dog shit out of you, yeah. So I had applied to go and be a apple bottom like girl. They told me I was too big to be an apple bottom girl. Mind you, I was a size 8. Mind you, I'm 5'10". Problematic things were happening. And no tea, no shade, heroin chic in the 90s and early 2000s, that was a thing, babe. I need to see your blood circulating through your veins. If I cannot see your thoughts and prayers, you're not gonna make it in the modeling industry, babe. You're too big. What are y'all talking about? It's just so crazy to just see the people that they told us were too big. I don't wanna minimize it at all. Look at this nail, girl. This nail is driving me crazy, girl. Let me see if I can take this. Oh, it popped right on off. See? Girl, they was holding on by a thread. This Mardi Gras don't owe me nothing, child. Anyway, now let's talk about Ebony. let me roll up my sleeves right quick. Now, when my girl Ebony first got onto the show, one of the first conversations that they had with her, according to this documentary, was about her sexuality. And they were like, hey girl, you gay, huh? How you know she told her grandma that? I understand that in the late 90s and the early 2000s, generally Americans were coming to grips with the fact that gay people are everywhere. They literally been everywhere since the beginning of time for always. It really wasn't a ton of representation. So for them to out her, I don't know if in their minds they understood the implications of that, but that shit is not safe. That's not safe. You don't know what kind of community that girl live in. Hey girl, you gay, huh? Hello? Next part. Ebony came in there with a short baddie haircut. Now, as somebody who wore a pixie cut for a solid decade, you don't have to have a certain head shape to have short hair, but the shorter your hair is, you got to factor that in, babe. If your head looked like an isosceles triangle, you might not want to go as short as Ebony did, okay? But Ebony had the head for it. She cut that hair off and she came in there damn near with a buzz cut. And so one day in the show, Tyra said, you see this little piece right here, girl? You see this little piece you got left over? We're going to buzz that. Pause. What harm would it do to leave that 1/3 of a millimeter inch of hair on her head? She was giving RuPaul. She was giving my ex-husband by the scalp, baby. What is why? Next, they started calling Ebony ashy. I ain't never met nobody that's ashy, that's Haitian from the Bronx. What are you talking about? So then she had to go smother herself down, girl, lather herself up with lard like she about to jump into a frying pan. And then they started complaining about how, can you just make sure you wash your hands because, but girl, please. Shut up, okay? Be quiet. And on top of all of those 19 things, they get her to elimination and they tell her she an angry black woman. A black woman told her she was an angry black woman. You got a chip on your shoulder. Pause. Let me tell you what that means. That means I'm not about to smile if ain't shit funny. That means I'll come in here to do a job. I'm not about to be friendly with you. That means if I don't like something, I'm going to verbalize it. That means that if I am uncomfortable with something, I'm going to say it. That means if I need something, I'm going to request it. Now all of a sudden she got a chip on her shoulder. If it's not funny, I'm not going to laugh, Frank. And I hated that for Ebony. And I just felt so triggered just watching her. Now, granted, I remember Ebony, but I don't remember all the clicks and clacks from season 1 because that was 700 years ago, child. I'm 900 years old. I don't remember that shit. Comments down below and let me know. Did Ebony have an attitude? Don't even worry about it because she didn't. Now we meet Shandy, okay? Shandy was from season 2 of America's Next Top Model, and I remember Shandy's story so vividly. Like when it first aired, I watched it and I ain't never went back, okay? So I'm remembering this with my dumbass brain as a youth, okay? Not as a lady. But I remember Shandy because I remember this was like the first time I actually saw the trope from movies where when the girl takes her glasses off, she's an immediate baddie. That's what I remember. Like, you remember She's All That, Never Been Kissed, which is problematic AF. Comment down below and let me know if you want me to talk about Never Been Kissed, babe, because what the hell? Anyway, she just was a normal lady, okay? She used to work at Walgreens. I hate Walgreens, no tea, no shade, girl. She used to be stocking them bandages and goddamn acetaminophen tablets on that shelf, girl. But now she's on that show. So now because it's season 2, we gotta up the stakes. The creative direction and the photo shoots got a little more, intense or, creative, I should say. And then we also get to talk about my love, Nigel. Understand that Nigel was everything to me. And you don't know what Keanu Reeves' buzz cut did to me in Speed. So when Nigel pulled up on this UPN network in my bedroom that had a TV with a VCR combination in it already, I just was for Clem. I would have thrown it all away for Nigel, bro. Come get me outside of my 8 o'clock class. I will never go to college again. I will throw it all away for you, babe. You don't even know Nigel. So they start talking about how they need to bring Nigel in to balance out Beelzebub over there on that corner because Janice was doing the most, child, so we needed somebody nice. Baby, they showed pictures of Nigel with hair, and I was like, who the hell is that? He cute, but who is that? I didn't know who that was. I was like, who's this handsome guy? Come on, Nigel barks. Okay, I also didn't know he was half Sri Lankan. I was like, that's why he always tan, child, because he was born that way. Mr. J talked about the fact that they needed to bring Nigel in because the show was too black. Okay, it was a little too black. Okay, all we got is a dope fiend down there on the corner killing over every 15 seconds. They probably got to prop her ass up with a stick up her spine, child, just to be like, whoop, like Geppetto or somebody, like Pinocchio. Like, girl, sit up, open your eyeballs, girl. Remember to blink. They probably was spraying water in her face like a damn dog to keep her awake, child. Can't stand that lady. Anyway, so they brought Nigel in because Nigel is white. You can't have no Latino gay man and a dark-skinned, tall-ass gay man over here and a black lady in the middle and then a dope fiend on the end, child. It's too urban. I don't care if we on UPN. We need the white. Bring somebody white. It's too black. And then we are on our way to Milan. Because, they got budget, babe. They got advertisers. And they said, babe, we about to get y'all out of New York, babe. We're going to take you to Italy. And they're going to do some photo shoots. And they're going to do some go-sees where you got to go see. That's why they call it that. The casting agencies and stuff. And I follow some models on social media and they take me to their go-sees. Babe, stressful. Stressful. I would tell everybody in there to go to hell. Hold on. Let me just think about it. Shit, I just rode a subway for 4 hours to get over here. I had to walk 7 blocks, stand in line for 3 hours. Let me just get my thoughts together. I ain't nothing to eat. I gotta pee. Wait. In Milan, the girls were gonna be taken to all of their go-sees by these local Milano men on Vespa. So after everything was over, they all went home and somebody was like, hey, we should call the fellas over here and just have like some drinks and like kick it or whatever. And so, you know, you young and you are feeling free. They're providing you all this sharp ass wine, child. Shandy in this situation had said that she was drinking prior to the fellas coming over. But everybody got in the hot tub. She was talking a lot. She was leaning to the left, babe. And she said, baby, listen, I am young, I am hot, and I am turned. I'm about to make out with this Italian man and that's that on that. And I said, girl, you better do it. You better do it, babe. Okay, it's nothing wrong with making out with an Italian man when you in Italy, girl. That's where you're supposed to make out with him at, okay? But the thing is, he was passed out and he raped her. Now, what I remember specifically was thinking, damn, are they gonna show them having sex? I don't know. Something about it I remember specifically being like uneasy about. But I also didn't know that at that time, because I was a young in utero ass person, that you cannot consent when you're under the influence like that, bitch. If you passed out, how I'm supposed to say, yeah, come on, get this peach? You know what I'm saying? I can't say that because I'm passed out. But he had went and did what he did, and they spun it to make it seem like it was a huge deal because she had cheated on her boyfriend, which was like a big thing in the show. It was like her and her boyfriend. It was like all against the world and stuff. They was like two little dorks in love, child, and it was really cute. But then they spun it to make it seem like Shandy was like a whore and cheating on her boyfriend. And she had like the phone call where he called her a bitch. It was like very dramatic. It reminded me of The Real World, David and Kira. Where he was like, it kills me, Kira. You don't know how much I love you, Kira. Like the phone calls, the FBI wiretap phone calls from reality show back in the day, baby, 8 down. Do you hear me? I'm like, oh my God. This is so dramatic. I used to love those. I'm talking about soft spot, babe. Don't know what the hell going on up here. But I do remember thinking, I don't know about that. I remember feeling some kind of way about it, but not being able to pinpoint why, because I was a youth. I said, you didn't tell me I was coming over here for no goddamn horror documentary. This is a horror show. I'm not a scary. I don't like scary things. You got to get my permission. I got to sign a release, babe. This part of the documentary is where literally everybody passes the buck. They was like, Tyra, girl, you remember what happened to Shandy? She was like, yeah. Shandy. Yeah, I do remember Shandy. Sure. Hello? You're the principal of these children that's in your school. You were responsible, babe. I'm sorry. I used to be an administrator on a college campus, okay? Like, I'm talking about reporting to the people that make the big bucks, right? Even though I ain't make no bucks, bitch. They wasn't paying me no money, child. Anyway, we went to a training about in loco parentis. Now, if you're not familiar with in loco parentis, basically you're like stepping in as a parent for these people. I know it doesn't apply to reality shows, but that's all I kept thinking about watching this specific part of the documentary. Because yes, these are technically adults. Please, okay, we all know, child, if you just keep on living, you already know 19 ain't shit. It really ain't nothing. You might as well be 12, child. You don't know nothing, girl, please. Anyway, as an administrator, I have had to go bust up some stuff that technically it wasn't my business, because y'all are adults. You 20 years old. I also don't give a shit. I don't care. Get your ass back to the dorm. You ain't got no business being out here. Put your drawers on, get back to the dorm, and I'm calling your mama, and I'm not playing. That's just that on that. You don't want to step in? You don't want to say something? Now, mind you, they on camera 24/7. Production was there. They had full-ass, grown-ass adults that was responsible for the safety and well-being of these children, or these people, or these ladies, or these women. And it was like, dang, she sure did get raped in this room. I wonder, it'll be all right. They told Shandy they didn't have no cell phone, because she was like, I need to call my boyfriend. I want to go home. I don't even really want to do this no more. They was like, girl, we can't even find no phone, girl. They don't even make phone. I don't even think they had no cell phone service over here, girl. I don't even know. What you mean? That's what blew me down, girl. Because what you mean we don't have no phone? We can't get you a phone. You got a walkie-talkie, bitch. Send a pigeon. I don't care. What you mean? They only was waiting to get her a phone so that they could wiretap that bitch like they was goddamn J. Edgar Hoover so they could hear the conversation. Like, even in the documentary, they tried to spin it as though it was a cheating thing and not a whole ass rape thing. Somebody should have been dead, actually. Like, that's what they should have been. Because it should have turned into a true crime investigation. See, Tyra, Ken Mock, the production director, the goddamn craft services specialist provider, the transportation coordinator, y'all on the hook, bitch. I don't care. I don't care. I didn't know. I wasn't aware. We didn't put anything on the television that I was. Now Tyra tells us that we had demanded that she humiliate these girls on this show because shows like Fear Factor, Survivor, and all of that was very popular, and that we, the public, demanded that these girls be humiliated to go take a fucking picture. Girl, don't gaslight me, child. I don't care what you do. I would never recommend that a lady put on some meat panties, bitch. As passionate as I am about a woman's pH, hell no. Hell no. You comment down below and let me know how many videos you've seen where women do some sketchy stuff and I be so concerned about their pH. Girl, what you mean I wanted it? We wanted it? Are you sure? Maybe they did have a certain subset of people that was like, yeah, I want you to put these bitches in a scorpion tank and take a picture with her. I just was not of that denomination, child. I didn't ask you to put these ladies up over no goddamn Shark Tank and hang them upside down by their ankle and tell them to be a bad bitch. No, I didn't ask for that. Started talking about the homeless photo shoot where they had to pretend to be homeless and be a bad bitch on a picture. And then they had another one where they had to pretend to be like murdered. I don't feel like I remember asking for you to be no goddamn pasta salad in a bowl of noodles and be a bad bitch. Like, I don't know. I know y'all gotta come up with stuff. Yeah, like I get it. But I don't feel like, you know what I'm saying? I don't remember that. I don't know about that. That was weird to me. Because what about being homeless is fun? Like, why you got to put, Like, I don't, well. They had turned them girls into the crib keeping was like, oh, I don't know. You look really ugly. Like, I don't know. Can you just do something different, bitch? What you want me to do, bitch? You put me in a net with literal dead fish hanging upside down. You want me to be a bad bitch? What are you talking about? Now we get to see my girl Danny. Now I do remember Danny down. I used to love Danny because she was from Arkansas. That's right on top of me, girl. Danny was sitting right on top of me down here in Louisiana, girl. I was like, that's basically my cousin. She had a gap in her teeth. I used to have a gap in my teeth, girl. I was like, she the one. And they had took them girls down there to the dentist, okay, and was like, hey girl, let's do this quick little medical procedure on you where we have to inject things into your veins and possibly make you go under anesthesia. We're also going to air this thing, sign these documents right the fuck now, and I'm not playing, and we're going to drastically change your features, okay? 9 times out of 10, models be so like, whoop, like don't nobody care about your teeth. As long as you got them and they clean, girl, I don't care. She had to call her mama. Hell yeah, girl, because listen, the minute I'm inconvenienced, mama, hey, you got a quick second? I'm calling my mother, babe. 10 minutes into the documentary, she had told us that she wanted to create the show to show that beauty comes in, all different forms and whatever. Beauty is everywhere, okay? You don't have to be cookie cutter model to be a model. I didn't ask you that. You volunteered that information. Now you sending these girls to get medical procedures so they could be perfect. What you talking about? Like, her gap was T then. Her gap is T now. I was more focused on her cheekbones. Her cheekbones didn't quit, babe. I love a girly with a cheekbone set. This is when I started to get aggravated because the voice in which Tyra was speaking, she just came off so inauthentic. Tyra came off terrible in this documentary. Girl, yes, I have since apologized to Danny, and I really take accountability for the things that I said. And when you get, this is when we started getting paramedics in the shot. I said, what? Well, goddamn. Okay, and then everybody started coming like this. Hey, girl, I'm having a great time. I'm so excited for the opportunity. Like, their bones was propping them up, child. I was like, y'all look miserable. Now, also, this is when I started looking at Mr. J kind of crazy, because when these crazy-ass photo shoots started coming up where they had to pretend to be dead, and they had to pretend to be sardines in a can, and girl, and they had to pretend to be a goddamn spaceship landing on the moon, they started passing the buck, too. Especially when it came to race swapping. Because why would you put that goddamn afro wig on that white lady and put brown paint on her and put a black babe on her hip? Girl, what? Hold on, because I'm stuttering. Wait a minute. You can put a white lady in traditional African attire and she could still just be a white lady. You could put a black lady in a kimono and she could just be a black lady in a kimono. You ain't got to face, you don't have to. We didn't know at the time. We just were trying to show the world how beautiful black people are. Then let the blacks stay black, bro. What you talking about? Like, what you mean? Why would you put this 4C wig on this white lady? Okay, she is from Nova Scotia. Why would you do that to that lady like that? And we hit my girl Kenya up. Now, Kenya, I remember her because they tried to gaslight me into making me think that that lady was plus size, that that lady was greedy, that she had something wrong with her. And even in my young soft spot development, as a youth, I knew there wasn't nothing wrong with that lady. Because every like weird ass photo shoot she had to go on, she had to be something fluffy. Like they were like, yeah, girl, we're gonna take you to the Serengeti and y'all gonna all be animals. They made her be an elephant. They made her be an elephant and they put these big ass ears on her and was like, girl, here, hold this bottle of CeraVe lotion and look sexy. What? Girl, looking back on this show after life has done life in my life, girl, what the hell are y'all doing? First of all, when I think of elephant, I think of Tantor, okay? Are you sure this water's sanitary? It looks questionable to me. Then they had a part in the documentary where they filmed her eating one bagel 3 separate times and it made it look like she just kept eating 17 bagels in a van. And I'm like, did this bitch, did they want me to think she brought a whole sleeve of bagels with her in the it's not funny, but it's just so outlandish. Right here, you telling me you trying to change the modeling industry. And over here like, yeah, bitch, you'll get your big ass out of here. What you want me to do with you? It just was so strange. Like, which one is it? Girl, they would hate to see my size 12, 5'10", big titties, big booty, fupa coming through the door, girl. They'd be like, bitch, what you doing here? Bitch, I will sit my fupa on your head. Okay, and I don't mean that in a sexual way. And I hated that my girl Takara wasn't here. Like, they talked about her briefly. She was like a little dust in the wind child. She was just like, bloop. Like, they talked about her. But baby, I'm telling you, I love Takara down, girl. Because when Takara came in there with them big ass titties, I was like, sister, I see you, sister. Kenya starts talking about an experience that she had with a male model on a set. Couldn't keep his hands to himself. When I was coming up, men would just literally grab you and like bring you in. Or they would just like get in under your dress. Or they would like grab your ass. Or they would give you a fucking pelvic exam, bitch. It was very dangerous to do. I had found one day in Rays over the river in New Orleans, Louisiana in the 99 and the 2000 that if you take a yam, okay, and you give it just the right amount of tension and give it a little torque and look them dead in their eyes and tell them don't fucking touch me again, it tends to work. You could get punched in your face. That's a chance that you are willing, that you gotta go out on a limb for, which is a sad indictment of society today. But I ain't never had no problems after that. It was like, hey, I told you quit touching me, bro. I don't like that, okay? And she stopped the production. She was like, hey, y'all got to rein his ass in. Instead of doing that, they was like, bitch, don't you see us? You don't matter, babe. It's 50 people here. We're hot and we're ready to go. Snap these fucking pictures and come on here and quit complaining. And that upset her. And then the picture that they chose, which was a whack ass picture, by the way, because her face call couldn't, that lady was so, I remember that. She was very photogenic and she knew how to work her angles. I remember that specifically. They chose a picture where she was like this. And then the dude had his hands all on her. She was like, hello. Then when she got to the judges panel, they were like, it's your fault. And then Tyra was like, you gotta turn into a sassy black woman and wiggle your neck and turn around and be like, don't touch me and and then gonna gaslight me and tell me I was trying to empower her. Tyra, please. Tyra, girl, use your powers for good and not evil. Don't fucking play with me. Like, we all grown now, bro. Like, you could have used that tone of voice maybe 27 years ago. Not currently, girl. Not currently. The world is on fire and everybody got an attitude. Save that shit. I did the best that I could at that time, but she deserved more. It's so inauthentic, bro. I'm trying to thread the needle with being myself and saying what I thought as a viewer and trying to keep it cute. I don't think I'm doing a good job. I personally am the kind of black lady that is going to support all the black ladies And I'm the kind of girl that's gonna support all the girls. Like, I don't care, bitch. Like, if you call me and be like, "L girl, I was at your house at 12:30, bet. Bitch, I might be going to jail with you because I'm trying to help you out." For Tyra to get up there and be like, "I tried, girl. I was trying to let you tap into your ghetto black girl. What you talking about, girl? I just tried." Not a child didn't ask Tyra girl, in all of these times, what was the most difficult time for you? Tyra said, "Girl, I don't even think I was there, girl. Let me hold on. Let me get in that mind palace. Let me go ahead back and get that Rolodex out, girl. There was a lot going on. Let me. And then the lady was like, hello, maybe Tiffany? I don't know. Like, the lady was trying to throw Tyra a bone. She was like, "What about Tiffany?" Tyra was like, yeah, girl, that was just so hard for me, girl. I was like, "Tyra, we can see you. We see you, Tyra. What, do you not know that you're on camera?" Again, sometimes she says she wasn't in the editing room. Other times she says she's a master editor. Did you edit your own self? This is what you chose to leave in? So my girl Tiffany had already been through, like, trying to get on a cycle of America's Next Top Model and had got eliminated because this lady was playing with her in the club and she said, "Bitch, not on my top," okay? And she threw a drink on that lady and it was like, "Oh my God, we can't have this here." Meanwhile, Naomi Campbell was punching bitches in the jaw. Do you hear me? Like, having a model with a temper, babe, that is part of the credentials, I feel like. It's like, are you slim? Are you tall? Can you walk? And do you have a little mental instability? Like, that's what they was looking for back in the day. So for them to be like, oh no. All right, now, I guess. And so they said they put Tiffany through some anger management. Then she came on back and she was ready to go. Now, one of these dumbass challenges that they had these girls do was to read a teleprompter, right? Now, the teleprompter is difficult enough. And then you throw in words like Christian Lacroix in there and goddamn Aramez, bitch. Is the H silent? Is the X an apostrophe, girl? Who are these people? Now, if you had asked them girls to read, like, Jergens is the lotion my grandmother used, and she slathered me up, girl, and every day when I was leaving the house, bunny bread is the best white bread in the South. Some people like Wonder Bread, but other people like bunny bread. They probably would have been okay. They were like Italiano Milano, Christian Lacroix, Hermes, Louis Vuitton. Bitch, listen, I'm sorry, I'm not calling y'all a bitch, I'm sorry. Tiffany did not want to be made shame on national TV. Tiffany can read. Babe, Tiffany is not an unintelligent lady. She said, "What you're not about to do is make me shame in this goddamn viewing room," after I done went and rolled around in some tapioca pudding for this photo shoot. Tyra got mad at that. And she had got eliminated, her and another lady. And so when she went over to the girls who were crying and upset for her, she does what black people do. Girl, don't even worry about it. Girl, don't worry about it. We try to take on the burden of suffering in silence and comforting other people. That's just something that black women do. That's something that women in general do. Tyra was like, "You bitch." Like, she got so mad at Tiffany, girl. Tiffany said, "Girl, what do you want me to do? What would you like me to do? Would you like me to get on my hands and knees? I'm not about to cry in front of these people, girl. What?" Girl, Tyra said that she went too far and it was just some black girl stuff. And put all of the nose and all of the pressure that black people are under. She just went too far. And I said, girl, okay. The treatment that these girls, specifically the black girls, have gone through, the micro and macro aggressions, the straight up discrimination and racism that they went through on this show, bananas, cuckoo bird, macadamia, crazy. Tyra could say all what she want to say, the network and the editing and the producers and the She was a producer. She had the power to be like, "Don't talk to that girl like that." We not about to have these girls rolling around in a goddamn rat trap minefield, okay? No, you know why? They had backed that money truck up. Let's no tea, no shade. So now we start to hear about Mr. J and about how all the things that were happening on the show and behind the scenes were just kind of taking him out, girl. Mr. J said, "Girl, I think I'm ready to go on to some greener pastures, babe. I'm trying to get up out of here, okay?" And so at this point, we had heard throughout the documentary about how he and Tyra were besties. They would be in the bed coming up with ideas. They would be at his house. He would be at her house. They would go to dinner. They would all kick it. He sent Tyra an email and was like, "Girl, Yeah, girl, I'm about to go. Okay, now he ain't do it like that. She didn't respond to him for 3 days. When she finally did respond, she responded with, I am disappointed. And she kind of like gave him the cold shoulder. When a situation like that happens and there's a professional and a personal part of a relationship that is ending, I always feel like you have to handle it professionally as well as personally. So I would have shot the email because I need that paper trail. But I also would have made that phone call. I also would have said, girl, let's go to lunch. I also would have said, girl, I'm about to come by your house right quick. Somebody from production or the network or whatever called Jay and was like, hey, bro, we need you to just come back for one more season. And he hadn't talked to Tyra about it. And so he was like, I better go ahead and do this because I don't want to get blackballed. And I'm thinking, he hadn't talked to Tyra since he sent that letter, girl, and then she just pulled up on set, and when the cameras was rolling, she had started acting normal, like everything was hunky-dory, and he was like, what the fuck is this? What's going on? They didn't really ask Tyra about it. I mean, they did, but she ain't really say nothing about it, and I was like, girl, that's not a good look. You can't air everybody else's business out and then keep your own business private, girl. That's what you're here for. That's what you put that fucking trench coat on for, girl. Give me the tea. Okay, what's going on? These people who have been at the height of their career, very successful people in their own individual rights. I'm talking about Mr. J, Nigel, and Tyra specifically. For them to just be like, I don't even know. I ain't had no clue, girl. They ain't hear nothing about that. I ain't know what to say. That I call bullshit. Now we start hearing about how these girls would go on these photo shoots and they would take photos, and then when they would get to elimination, Tyra and Beelzebub down there on the end, they would pick these weird ass pictures that the girls would be like, y'all saying this is my best shot? The one where I'm doing this? Oh, okay. Now I'm eliminated, huh? Okay, cool. They were using these pictures to further the people that they thought would bring like a better story. These girls were taking beautiful pictures, but at elimination, it would be like, here's your best shot. No, I don't feel like I remember that being the case, but I do remember every once in a while being like, that was her best shot? I don't know about that. I didn't know that that was an actual thing going on behind the scenes. And again, the creative director said I ain't had no control over that. Start to hear about how the winners basically won it, and then it was like, girl, good luck. See you later. All right. And how they never were able to break into modeling because at that time they were considered reality stars and not models. And so people didn't want them to walk in their shows or be a part of their campaigns because it was like seen as like gauche or like, you know, cheesy or lowbrow to have this specific person in the campaign. Danny said that she talked to Tyra years after she was on the show, and Tyra straight up told her, I knew that by you being on the show, you weren't gonna be able to be a model in a certain way. She gonna tell that girl, I always rode the fence with you. What the hell that mean? And also, why are you telling me that? Like, what is that supposed to do for me? So not because America's Next Top Model is such a huge deal, Tyra done got her a talk show. And I don't know why they keep giving people talk shows that don't nobody ask for, but they've been doing this since the beginning of time, child. Some of them are great. Some of them, I just be like, okay. And she invited the girls from America's Next Top Model on there, and she had the nerve to sit Shandy closest to her and said, girl, tell me about the time you had got raped. Let's talk about it. Tyra said, girl, have you ever seen the footage from it? Shandy said, no, I haven't seen it. Don't want to see it. Tyra said, girl, roll that beautiful bean footage. Girl, let's watch it. Bitch, I had talked. Wow, girl, please. That is crazy work. The network had called Tyra and said, girl, please get rid of all these colored people on this show. I don't know it's too urban. Okay, you got a half Sri Lankan man on there. You got a Hispanic man, and you got a dark-skinned, tall, gay man. Oh, hell no. Get rid of them. And Tyra was like, oh no, I can't get rid of my 3 hearts. And they had fired Nigel, Miss J, and Mr. J. It reminded me of New York Undercover. Now, if you are a person of a certain age and you remember New York Undercover and you remember what a fantastic show it was when it was geared to urban youth, the clothes were great, the writing was awesome, the music was good, girl. We would pull up at Natalie's, girl. Girl, we would get SWV, we would get Albie Show, we would get Quincy Jones, girl. You never knew who was gonna be at Natalie. And it was a vibe. The thing was at its peak. They started killing motherfuckers off and replacing the Puerto Rican dude with a white dude. And it's like, okay, we definitely know they got white people in the NYPD, but that's not what we was over here for. The sauce is gone, babe. That's what they did over here. Get rid of the melanin, okay? We don't need that. So not because you done took all the heart and personality out of the show, you got to go in that trick bag, bitch. This is America's Next Top Model Circus Edition. We're gonna turn all y'all bitches into clowns. So now they done America's Next Top Model for 73 years, child. And the network, you know how they do, girl. They said, Tyra, girl, pack up your bags. Get good, smiles on down the road, girl. Pack your bags up. We don't want you no more, okay? And Tyra was like, that name got my daddy blood on it, babe. This mine. I created this. What you talking about? They said, girl, please get up out of here. We're going to get this British lady over here from across the pond to do it, okay? Because people tired of you. So now mom and dad and Nigel, girl, they got to go find them some new jobs just like Tyra, child. Mr. J, he had wrote a book, child. I didn't know he wrote a book basically about Tyra. And the lady name, instead of being Tyra Banks, it was like Keisha Cash or something. I might have to go read that, girl. It sounds messy as hell. Anyway, and then Miss J went to go work for like other top models and other top model shows in other countries, and he used to work at the Savannah College of Art and Design. Then, girl, Miss J had a stroke, girl. Miss J had a stroke, was in a coma for buku long, was in a hospital for years, like under medical supervision for years, and became paralyzed. I said, nobody told me. Ain't nobody told me nothing. And then to make matters worse, they say, has Tyra come to see you? He said no. She sent me a text message and said she was gonna come see me, but she hasn't come see me. Mind you, he had that stroke in 2022, I believe. We're in 2079 and she hasn't gone over there to see him. Okay, that had pissed me right on off. Cause what you mean? What are you referring to? How fucking dare you, actually? Then Tyra Banks hop her eyeballs on that thing and say, we've learned so much and we've done so many things and whatever, and we're gonna have a fantastic show for cycle 97 of America's Next Top Model. We bringing it back. I said, girl, what? Hold on. I'm not yelling at y'all. Let me take a beat and I'm gonna give me some while I'm gonna come back. Hold on. Why would you show us for 3 solid hours? That is 3 1-hour lunch breaks to show us these ladies was on ambulance stretchers, was crying, got raped, mental abuse. People was crying. You told them people, girl, go climb the Eiffel Tower and stand on top of that bitch with a stilettos pumps in the club with 1 foot, and we're gonna take this picture. We're not gonna strap you on, girl. If you're a real model, you're gonna be all right. And then you want us to be like, oh my God, girl, she bringing it back again. I literally cannot wait. Who are you? Who is this for? Your target audience got their frontal lobe developed, is what I'm saying. Like, we don't want to see that shit. You cannot be inauthentic for 3 solid hours and then ask us to participate in a reality show where we know you're gonna lie to us and gaslight us like you've been doing in this documentary. And also, we don't want to be a part of nobody being abused. Bitch, it's tough enough out here. I'm not calling Tyra no bitch. I'm just saying, bitch. It's tough enough out here, girl. The world on fire. You want me to just sign up? The TV landscape is 2-pack, babe. I ain't about to hold you. And then she was like, when you know better, you do better. And you got to thank you for calling me out, because now we know what to do and what not to do. You didn't know what to do back then, though? You wasn't a child. You was a full-grown ass adult. Okay, so now you calling me stupid. Okay, cool. That's the end of the documentary. This show made me go back into my mind palace and think about how fucking booked and busy Tyra Banks was, girl. Tyra had I feel like she had like a credit card, like a rush card, like some kind of something. It was like a fight, like a money something. She had a makeup brand at one point. She had, and didn't nothing stick. You know why? Because we don't know Tyra. We is me. I'm sorry. I can't speak for you. I don't want to speak for you. I'm just saying this was not a good vibe, bro. This was not a good publicity for your show. Are you trying to push me away? Good job. It worked. Comment down below and let me know what you thought of this 3-hour expose, true crime horror documentary, child, on America's Next Top Model. Baby, this thing was a mess. I can't wait to talk to y'all in the comments. I love you. Bye.